Welcome, everyone, to the Akin Nerds Podcast, a weekly show that tells you what is going on in the nerdy world. I am CJ Mellon, joined by Josh Burns and Ryan Thornton.
I refuse to greet anybody here. They all expect me to be here.
Listen, there were a lot of fun movie news and trailers and things that came out, so I'm very excited to talk about this week's topics. But I want to start with something that we should all just be pumped and very excited for, and that is we got another trailer, a full-length trailer, really.
For Fantastic Four 2.
Yes, or known as Incredibles 2.
No, best Fantastic Four movie ever.
Absolutely. Listen, this is coming out soon, June 15th. It's going to hit theaters. This looks, it's Disney, Pixar, and it's The Incredibles. And I keep every time I see a trailer or see footage, I just remember how good The Incredibles was.
It is my favorite Pixar movie.
This has been
hands down
far too long.
Hands down.
They waited I don't know why this movie got pushed back more and more and more. This movie's so good. It's the only trailer, the only movie I'm watching trailers and behind the scenes stuff for. It's the only one I'm watching stuff for. So I'm so excited by this. And then we got a sneak peek of the villain.
Oh, the
creepy.
Yeah.
What's his name?
I don't remember.
Wearing like a gas mask
The villain is Common Core Math. That's what I got from that trailer.
Why would you change math? Math is math.
It's going to be the best part of the movie. I guarantee it.
The villain is a screenslaver.
Oh, it's like Screensaver, but with slave.
Yeah.
Get it. I get it.
Brian sees what you did there.
I see you, Pixar.
My favorite thing too is the continued thread of the character that Samuel L. Jackson plays, his wife just nagging him. Ozone, right?
Frozone.
About Frozone just being harassed by his wife. Like, it's just a great thread that they knew it was funny the first time. They just kind of kept it going. So I'm excited for June 15th. Pretty pumped.
For sure. It's going to be awesome.
Absolutely. It's
all right.
Gonna be amazing.
The next trailer that Josh found and then made us all watch is right in the nerdy. I mean, it's literally right in our bubble, right? If you're a nerd and you get the idea of Comic-Cons and you also like heist movies, this may be the movie for you. It's called SuperCon. And it's Josh, can you just how did you pitch it to us? How did you come across this?
I think it's like nerdy movie heaven. I mean, you've got characters that you can laugh at and identify with. You've got a bit of bullying in the movie, and then a comeuppance, right? It's a heist at a giant Comic-Con. You've got a scantily clad Maggie Grace. Ryan Quanten is entertaining. John Malkovich is in the movie. Russell Peters is in the movie. You've got faces
right, in
a heist movie. It looks funny.
I'll tell you what, I'd be more excited for Ocean's 8 if this was the premise.
Did you watch the Ocean's 8 new trailer? It's pretty good.
I did. I don't buy Rihanna as an actress at all. So
yeah, that's the only problem.
I know, and I know that, but like, I don't think you need to buy her as an actress. She's just there to go like, booyah.
I don't even think she could say booyah
like,
effectively.
What's your name? 9-Ball. What's your real name? 8-Ball. Like, that's going to be pretty much, I mean, essentially, although she's the tech guy, she's going to talk about as much as the grease man. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right, okay, yeah.
She's going to talk like the Asian guy talks.
I don't believe you.
The thing with SuperCon that it reminded me a little bit of like a Super Troopers and Logan Lucky kind of thing, because there's a lot of like getting hit in the nuts like 5-6 times in the trailer. And the other part too is like the budget is clearly someone got together. It's like, I've got 3 credit cards we can max out. Can we just make a movie for 3 credit? We can do that. Someone did that for Clerks. Awesome.
I can't tell if you're shitting on it.
No, I think it's cool.
Okay. All right.
I think the fact they just went, we don't need $1 million to make a movie. Let's just make it.
But it would be a limited so
budget.
much better movie if you did have $1 million.
It would be, but you know what will work? John Malkovich is clearly like, I'll work for.
Here's I
poster.
Think the thing that I like the most is that this falls into sort of the my favorite type of movie, which is that small cast. It's going to be heavily focused on the dialogue and the plan and the plot. And there's not going to be too many explosions or distractions or any of that bullshit, right? And my favorite movies all go that way. So it's like limited sets, confined area. It's going to be good.
And then on the complete opposite end of the spectrum is the movie with Jason Statham, The Meg.
Short for Megalodon.
I cannot tell yet if this is the greatest movie ever made or worse than Nicolas Cage in Wicker Man. I can't figure it out. I don't know where it lies.
Well, I mean, it's
Megalodon. Like, it sounds like you're saying a Transformer name when you say it. It's weird.
You know that it's a real thing, though. You know that,
Oh, no,
right?
well, but it wasn't. It got debunked. The Megalodon I never thought was a real thing. Like, Shark Week kept putting it up on, the Discovery Channel.
Yeah.
Rainn Wilson even mentioned Shark Week. And then scientists were like, the whole thing that you made called the Megalodon did not exist.
I thought it just didn't exist the way they pictured it.
Yeah.
But was a thing.
But that's kind of like raptors, right? They got raptors all wrong, right? They're more like birds than they are like reptiles.
I'm not here to talk about pterodactyls with you. I just want
That's
basic
raptors.
Pterodactyls. Listen, this is a giant fucking shark.
Yes.
But a dinosaur shark.
Right. Like it would see the shark from Jaws and be like, that's really fucking small.
If you're saying to me that some form of a dinosaur shark existed, but maybe not necessarily the way they pictured it, that's terrifying.
Yes.
So, okay, look, I'm never gonna pay to see this movie. Not when it hits Netflix, I'm in. I'll give it a watch because Jason Statham is entertaining at least.
I'm hoping that this is an elaborate ruse and that at the end, they're not going to show the title at all until the end of the movie. And then turns out it's a Jaws remake. And Ray Wilson is Hooper.
Yeah, and it's got Rainn Wilson in it. You got something against Dwight Schrute?
No, but I am concerned about the lack of beats in the. I hope all the bloody water is made by beats.
Beats, Bears, Battlestar Galactica.
But no, I really am. I'm laughing at this trailer, which they started playing the what's the song they feature?
Beyond the Sea.
Yeah, Beyond the Sea. That's right. So they started playing Beyond the Sea, and they really started to get tongue in cheek with the fact of yeah, we understand this is ridiculous,
right?
But at the same time, they're kind of going, but we're also serious. This is going to be violent, and there's going to be things blowing up, and
You've got Rainn Wilson. Did he say something he's too good looking to be a scientist or some crazy shit?
Something, or he's got a surly attitude or something.
Right, whatever it is. It's just...
They know what they have.
Yes.
But this is the same logic that people use for Sharknado. And this is how we end up with a whole series of
No, this is not... Come on.
This is not more, so bad it's good?
I think... Isn't this more didn't LL Cool J make Deep Blue Sea?
Deep Blue Sea. Yeah, Deep Blue Sea, yeah.
This is like that. This is that. That's all it is. And that's fine.
I may see this in theaters. The sad thing is, I don't know if it's so bad it's good, or actually good, or very, very bad, and I'm probably going to end up seeing this movie.
It's a B movie, dude. Use your MoviePass magic where you pay no fucking money, but still get to have the whole experience.
You know what? We got some MoviePass news coming up. We're gonna hit that in a little bit. But I do want to talk about another trailer that I actually am legitimately excited for. And
it's like theaters accept your Monopoly money, and that's what really bothers me the most. It's you're actually walking into a theater with Monopoly money. You can't go in there and just tell them you've got Imperial credits. It doesn't. These things don't work that way.
Oh, he went in with his multi-pass.
He said, "No, it's a multi-pass."
MoviePass.
MoviePass. Anyway, I want to talk about the trailer for Dark Crimes. Because it is the second attempt for Jim Carrey to do a scary kind of thriller-esque movie.
No, the number 23 wasn't the same type of character.
No, it wasn't the same type of character, but it was the tone that they were trying to hit.
All
was
right.
Right.
Yeah.
But this is kind of, this reminded me a little bit of not maybe Girl with a Dragon Tattoo, or what the Snowman should have been and not what it was. It looks extremely interesting. It's Jim Carrey kind of solving crimes, but being very dark and gritty. And, it's clearly filmed before he went completely banana cuckoo insane. And he's not Jim Carrey. He's somebody else.
He's a painter now.
He's
painting things.
Yes.
I'm really worried that, in 20 years, we're talking about Robin Williams Like this is, but that's how I view.
Ooh.
That's how I view Jim Carrey. Right?
Ugh.
He's an intense dude. He's out there, like he's a raw nerve walking around. Is how I feel Jim Carrey is. So, man, I gotta tell you, this role actually excites me a lot.
Yeah.
I think it could be really, really good, and I just the dude he's fucking brilliant.
So for those of you who haven't seen the trailer, Jim Carrey is not Jim Carrey. His character is investigating a murder.
It's Jim Carrey. It's a documentary.
His lead suspect is a novelist who may or may not be committing real murders with the plots of his murder book. So, I mean, we've seen that before. But the way that it's done is it is very dark. Apparently, this movie premiered in Poland in 2016, and it's going to open in the United States here on May 11th. But I think we're also going to get like a DirecTV like VOD on demand thing earlier.
Oh, well, that doesn't bode well.
It doesn't bode well for the movie, but I'm interested. I love Jim Carrey enough that I will see this in some capacity. I don't know when. Probably not in theaters, to be honest. But
the tone reminds me of 8mm.
Yeah.
I like that. So Brian, what do you think though? Is that something is that something you're going to watch?
I actually enjoyed the number 23, so probably, yeah. I know nobody liked it, but I did, and I think Jim Carrey is a decent actor.
I thought he was solid in the number 23. It wasn't about not liking it. I was just saying to CJ that you can't compare these two roles.
It's widely panned. That's why I'm making that caveat. Like, everybody hates that movie.
My favorite thing is there's a comment on the website that we have in the show notes here for the trailer, and it says, an English language film premiering in Poland, failing to find an American distributor for 2 years. That's a good sign, said no one ever in the film industry.
Yeah.
All right. True that. But no, it looks very interesting. I will definitely find a way to see it. I'm very curious to hear what you, the listener, what you think about this, because I don't know, this is probably Jim Carrey's last movie for a long time, and I'm very curious to hear what you guys think about it. All right, quick update on some other movie news that we have talked about. Josh, your beloved series Deadwood is apparently one step closer to being in production. So what's the news that kind of came out, and just I want to get your reaction from it.
Give me all the Deadwood. Look,
not all of it, like in television or movie format. We don't need actually dead wood.
But all of the TV Deadwood, all of it.
Give me all the Timothy Oliphant.
So they're making a movie.
His glorious mustache.
mean, it's not. It doesn't have a green light yet, but we're getting news that could possibly happen, and production could start in October, which means that by 2025, we might have something.
after 6 more seasons of Santa Clarita Diet, he'll be able to do HBO's Deadwood.
I'm just saying, it makes me happy to see Deadwood talk, but just temper your expectations.
Do you think this is, because I have to thank you because you were the one who told me to watch Deadwood, and I appreciate that because I've really enjoyed the series. Is this a movie that I would put in my box of waited for too long to continue the story, or is it just so good that it's going to be fine?
Are you asking Josh to tell you what to think?
Always, I need to know what to think. Obviously, we've determined time and time again, my opinion is not to be trusted, or so I mean,
this is true. You thought the Folding Mate was a garbage thing.
I did think that was a waste of technology. But Josh, basically, I'm just saying, should my brain just tell itself to shut off and just accept that Deadwood is great and everything will be fine?
You watched the series, right?
I did watch the series, yes. When did it end, though?
Would you rather find out for 2 hours what happens after what's-his-face leaves Deadwood?
All right.
Or would you watch any other movie?
Touche. As long as it's nothing like an Entourage movie, I'm there.
Really all I'm saying is, like, I compare this to, I need to know what happened after Hearst left. I need closure on what happened. And if this is an end to everything, I would rather watch that than any Marvel movie.
You know what? I guess that's the difference then from the other movies is that this is a movie that's hopefully going to be answering questions and giving closure where it's needed versus just telling a story that like we got the first time and like if we never heard from them again, we'd be okay.
I think it's about closure. I
Yeah.
really do.
Okay.
I really do think it's about putting a bookend on that series and a final resolution to these characters.
Good. All right. No, I'm right on board then. All right. John Cusack gave an interview where he thinks, quote, that Disney will fuck up a High Fidelity series. I gotta be honest. And this is very hard for me to admit. I've actually never seen High Fidelity. I know. I can feel heavy objects being hurled at me.
Oh!
After I saw this in the show notes and knowing Josh and knowing that this reaction would happen right now, I have officially added it to the top of my streaming list. I will watch this weekend. I will watch High Fidelity. We'll be done by the next time we record.
Brian, I swear to Christ, if you say you haven't fucking seen High Fidelity, I don't give a shit if you don't like John Cusack and you're on record as a John Cusack hater. Tell me you've seen this movie.
First off, I don't think I have ever said I hated John Cusack.
I'm pretty sure you said those exact
I think
words
2012 was a giant mistake.
on this podcast. I don't like John Cusack is what you said during a cast this where I cast
I like
John
Con
Cusack.
Air. I have seen High Fidelity.
Thank you.
I indeed have seen it.
I don't have
I did
to
not
lose.
like it though. No.
Oh God, no!
You know what? Wait, I'm sorry. I'm going to back up. When did you see that movie?
This is the thing. I haven't seen it since I was a teenager. It's definitely something I gotta watch again.
Now you've been in a few relationships. You've loved and lost and blah, blah, blah again and all this.
So let me ask this because I have not seen it. Why? Like, what is the appeal of this movie that they would want to make it into a TV series? And then
CJ.
why is that wrong?
This is High Fidelity is on any given day when I'm making a list about anything, I can't think about anything but High Fidelity. Every single conversation I have with my son reminds me of High Fidelity. The kid is always, he's always, am I right?
He's always making lists.
He's always making lists. My son is High Fidelity personified, and it really is not. It's heart-wrenching, and it's sweet, and it's funny, and it keeps you interested, and it's nerdy, and it's great, and it makes you laugh and cry, and laugh while crying, and it's so good, and it. Like, if I'm making a list of my top 10 movies or top 5 movies of all time, I'm having a really hard time keeping High Fidelity off my list. But that's not because it's an amazing movie. It's about my connection to the movie, the characters, more than one of them. And it's got such an amazing fucking soundtrack. I mean, I can't... It's unbelievable.
So then,
all time.
if it's all that, why does a TV series sound
because
terrible?
they want to gender flip the main character.
Okay, but go ahead.
Without that a woman is a different story.
So John Cusack's tweet, for context, says the woman part seems good, the rest not so much. But this is a Nick's book and hopes that he'll be involved. If he's not, it'll suck. So he's saying, okay, we can do the gender switch, but if the author isn't involved, then there's no hope.
I don't think you can. It's just a different. It's so different that it's immediately not the same story because High Fidelity is told from the viewpoint of a high school age boy, a college aged young man. You know what I'm saying? Like it's.
Sure.
I don't understand how a high school age female thinks, and I'm not going to hook up with it.
Right. Here's the other thing. This is going to be proposed for Disney's streaming service, right? So do you think that they can maybe take a little more risks with that in the sense of tone and maybe language and some of the content? Or because it's got the Mickey Mouse ears on it, this is going to have to be PG-13 at the most.
And that's another big concern because High Fidelity was not It may have had a PG-13 rating, but it was.
Yeah, but that's when PG-13 ratings were a little more raunchy than what they are now.
It was out on the edge. Like seeing it on a Disney Channel. Having watched the movie, I don't see it. But problem is, I'm so biased that I am not. None of this is actually, really.
Right.
I can't defend it in any way. Brian, you're probably going to have to be the unbiased.
I mean, I'll be unbiased, but I think what you're trying to say is that the moment the gender flip happens, because and I think there is a modicum of truth here that women of that age and girls of high school age view relationships differently than a man would.
Right.
So the story does immediately change because it's told from a different point of view. That's not necessarily a bad thing. It definitely could work. It's just they got to do it. They got to do it right. And I mean, I think a TV show could be a good idea. You could spend an entire season on that one relationship, like that one person, that one experience, and then move on to the next one. Like if that's kind of how they're planning it, I think it could be good. I definitely think it is worth it. But it being on the Disney app,
right?
High Fidelity was super bad before super bad. It like in terms of like tonal and humor and pushing the boundaries and it wasn't as raunchy as super bad, but it was very. Correct me if I'm wrong, Josh. It was very so on the edge. Like it could have been.
Yeah,
if it were made today, it could have been rated R.
And I get where you're going. However, there's an automatic complication by these are adults, not children. Right? So it's automatically completely different because they're not constrained at all like the Superbad characters were. They weren't fighting against anything. They were just experiencing life, in the city. So it's just I don't know. I can't get past this gender flip.
So let me ask from John Cusack's question or his point of view. If he's okay with the gender swap, but not okay with the fact that the rest of the story doesn't really lend itself to that, if the creator of that story is involved and can craft a story that is okay from a woman's perspective, are you willing to give it a shot? Or is that so much of a different property that you shouldn't even call it High Fidelity?
See, that's it needs. It's not High Fidelity.
Right. It needs to be its own thing. Okay.
Yeah, but I'm willing to give it a shot and just ignore the title.
If I recall correctly, didn't a brunt of High Fidelity take place in a record store?
It's it's right up my alley. There's like a super short, set list characters. Yes.
So, I mean, and that was a huge, if I recall correctly, again, it's a huge driving force of the movie. It's in all of its advertising. So not even just the point of view of the character. You have to update it. There's no place
no way,
like
man.
that
You
anymore.
could be record store owner in Brooklyn. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, it's still there. No, it's
San
still
Francisco, any place hipsters
just
live.
vinyl
Cool.
now. Is everything
Awesome.
back to
I'm
vinyl?
getting a hipster television show.
Okay.
No, Brian. So High Fidelity was hipster before hipster.
So hipster was hipster.
Right? That Jack Black was a fucking hipster. Like people walk in and be like, "Do you have this record?" I do, but I'm not selling it today. And like the guy was so pissed off. If I come back next week, will you? I don't know, maybe. Like he was the original, and the weird guy that worked there with him, like they were the original hipsters. The hipsters didn't exist before that.
So it seems
I'm honestly just throwing kerosene on the fire. I just want to see this.
So I guess that's the
Fucking
thing.
hate you. I love this movie so much. You have to stop fucking with me.
I see your inner turmoil, and it's palpable. I can taste it. It's amazing. Is this how you feel with every Cape Talk topic? Because this is awesome.
Trolling you to fucking rile you up. Yeah, for sure.
Right.
Yeah, that's it. That feeling is exhilarating.
So I'm turning around to you, the listener, then, because this is obviously a topic that Josh cares about very passionately. First off, have you seen High Fidelity? Is that a movie that you've come across? And if so, very curious to hear what you think about this concept and what John Cusack is kind of saying are his problems.
And if not, turn this goddamn podcast off, go watch High Fidelity, and then come back.
Right. Just press the pause button. We'll be back. We'll be here.
Haven't seen High Fidelity.
And now you have. Look at you. You're so smart. You're so awesome. All right, let's go on with the rest of the show. Super quick, super brief. Just wanted to mention it because I know that Josh and Brian have both been preaching this for years. 3D movies are terrible. They're only good when they're made to be 3D, and even then, they're not always worth the price of admission. Hey, and guess what? It's declining. 3D movies are not as popular. They're not bringing in as much money as they used to which everybody else said, duh. Like, 2010 was the peak of it, and it was mainly because of Avatar, and ever since then, it's been added on, slapped on, not really needed. It's just not good anymore, and it's declining. Is anyone here surprised?
In fairness.
Yes.
It's not the technology that's causing the...
That's the filmmakers.
No, it's the jungle gyms in all the
no!
3D.
Damn it! I was gonna make a Jungle Gym bug joke.
No!
I beat you to the jungle gym.
I was gonna say. In other news, the Jungle Gym movies have made a profit this year. So
Right. It's the goddamn jungle gym, CJ.
they're taking all the 3D movie money.
God damn it. And listen, I mean, I saw Ready Player One, and I saw it in IMAX 3D, and while
Why?
it was because that was the only showing in large format. I like the large format. I didn't care about the 3D aspect of it. I cared about.
You're right. There was no IMAX 2D for that movie.
No, it was
bullshit.
It's all IMAX 3D. Well, that's how they get you. You want large format? We're putting 3D on it.
You look.
And
I saw Black Panther on IMAX without 3D.
Yeah, because Marvel realizes we're not putting 3D shit on this, so let's not bother. Warner Brothers not that way. Surprise. So it's in decline. I mean seriously, I haven't left a 3D movie going, holy crap, that 3D was great since Avatar. So stop making 3D movies. Bottom line.
You left Avatar like that?
Everybody, listen. Everybody left Avatar going. 3D was awesome, except for you. Except for you, because you were just mad that it was Ferngully, Pocahontas, and Dances with Wolves. That's the only reason you left all cynical and mean-spirited.
Having never seen Ferngully, Pocahontas, or Dances with Wolves, I didn't hate Avatar.
You should watch Ferngully, Pocahontas, and Dances with Wolves. They're much better versions.
I don't want to watch.
I will agree with you because one of them's got Robin Williams, so it's definitely worth its time. Hey, I want to see if this company sounds familiar to you.
My name is Betty. Erratic. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
See, Steve, this sounds familiar to me, and tell me the name of the company. Hi, thanks for calling. To hear ticket times, press 1.
Max Headroom.
No.
Oh.
To hear listings of your favorite movies, press 2.
My local newspaper.
You're a dickwad. Press 3.
Oh, that's Movie Phone. I remember that. It was the dickwad that got
the
me.
company that no one remembers anymore, except for like when someone
Movie
makes
Phone.
the dumb voice joke that I just did. Yeah. So, hey, Josh, we were talking about MoviePass earlier. Here we go. This is the topic. MoviePass has purchased the dead and decrepit movie phone service from AOL, which is the most 90s sentence I think you can say. A company that was owned by AOL that told you about the movies. That was the 90s. And what they're doing with it is kind of weird. They want to take the movie phone brand and the movie phone brand awareness, essentially, and turn it into a review aspect for MoviePass subscribers. So this way, their viewers can. So their mission was that normal people who review movies usually come out more positive than those critics. So we're going to put...
Right, because they're not trying to pick apart every aspect of the movie.
Right. So they're going to put...
Except for me.
They're going to put user reviews on there more.
No, you don't do that shit either.
Sometimes I do. Like with Avatar. Would you like to hear my review?
No. Please, no.
You do it when you hate shit. But you still try to experience things, and you're not looking for reasons to walk out. I'm not a fan of the reviews. I'm just not.
And they're also trying to basically take away some of the market and the value from Rotten Tomatoes, right, and put it into the MoviePass thing. So this way, another reason for you to subscribe to MoviePass is
because Rotten Tomatoes can be wildly manipulated, or
that, and they just, it's a big market share, and MoviePass wants to just disrupt everything that has to deal with the movies. Here's the thing about me that I
think everybody should ignore reviews.
I'm sorry, what?
I just think everybody should ignore reviews.
Except for mine.
Except for ours, right? When we review something, or we say
no.
something,
Like, unless you're saying it with your mouth, I don't think percentages should be factored. What I'm saying.
Yeah, I agree with you. Here's the thing.
That's what this is getting at, right? This is about driving percentages
on Movie Phone.
Yes,
they haven't given that part to it. I don't know if they're going to focus on the written review or stars. I don't know what the review aspect is going to be, but they want it to be more user-generated reviews than critic reviews. Basically saying, listen, movie critics are usually wrong. They usually come out with a lower percentage. And if you look at Rotten Tomatoes, most of the time, fans love stuff more than critics. So you're a movie fan. Let's just talk about the fans. Here's the thing that's a slippery slope with this, right? And it's their platform, so they own it. But now MoviePass is getting involved with actually making and distributing movies.
Right.
So they have a financial stake in some movies coming out now.
We talked about this before.
They're going to be in control now of reviews of some movies.
Right.
So then they're going to say, hey, this movie that you'll probably not want to see because it's from like Sundance and it didn't win anything and we just bought it for parts, essentially.
It had a 16-minute shot of an open field. It was glorious.
Yeah, and someone's going to be like, I like the fact that there was a lot of wheat. I thought it was really good. It's like Gladiator, where he ran his hand around all the wheat. It was pretty awesome. And they're going to drive attendance to that movie. Like, I just see this being manipulated and only making MoviePass more money and not helping any of the actual Joe Schmo people.
And we're back to ignoring reviews.
What we're really back to is how the fuck does MoviePass make money?
It's that thing. It's that thing where, like, Brian and CJ, myself, we look at the camera and we say, I approve this message. And you know that because we're saying it directly into the mic.
Right.
Anybody posting online anonymously, flaming or lauding or otherwise, it's still just smoke. It's all smoke.
And I approve that message.
I do too.
Right. You just have to go experience it for yourself, please.
And Brian, to answer your question, how does MoviePass make money? The same way that someone who just went to Congress to testify does. They just sell all your data. They just sell all of it.
All of it to everybody who's buying.
Anyone who's got $5 could probably buy your MoviePass data.
Nice, very nice.
So just let that be. I'm okay with that because I get to see free movies. So I'm
actually considering purchasing a new identity
just for this
social media.
No, I'll be me. Like, I'll be me on social media.
Right.
Just for like anything that requires money or like that kind of like a total alias for anything where I might be solicited. That way I'll know. And it'll be all this other and I'll sign up with all the shit. I'll let them share all my data. It'll be great. Maybe I'll try to sell my data. I'm not even sure.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time to talk about the world of comics, how it's affecting TV, how it's affecting movies, but most of all, how it's affecting all of us this week. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for Cape Talk.
Cape Talk. Bring on the gasoline, Josh. Let's do this.
All right, so let's start first with some fan feedback. We have some follow-up from last week that we need to talk about. We talked about Todd Phillips' Joker movie, and Brian lawyered everybody, I thought, with the explanation of why this is a bad idea. But it's
lawyered. I think I said that my brain had been scooped out with a grapefruit spoon.
Yes, that is the exact quote I put on the video on Facebook. But not everybody is saying, "Hey, this is an open and shut case, guys." There's something that's still there.
I beg to differ.
So we got some feedback from Dave on Facebook.
And I went toe to toe with Dave on Facebook so that I could just put my opinion out there, and then on Friday night Shut the fuck up and let Brian handle the business.
All right, I'm gonna read Dave's comment, and Brian, I'm opening the floor to you at this point. Think about how open the storyline is. Was the Joker an abuse victim? Was the Joker a soldier whose scars resulted from an IED? Which one of these stories was true or alluded to be true? Are any of them true? If the story is well written, well produced, well directed, and well acted, I will be the first to admit that DC/Warner Brothers, and I'll be the first to admit with Warner Brothers and DC that those are some big ifs. I imagine that this could be an unreliable narrator film. Think of Girl on the Train or Gone Girl narrative style. In the universe of Nolan's Batman. In The Killing Joke, the Joker said something along the lines of, if I have a pass, I prefer it to be multiple choice. Now, imagine a film with a narrative like Pulp Fiction, told out of order, and never really knowing the truth until the very end, if you even know it at all. Imagine that, but told in Nolan's universe. The Joker and most other Batman victims, for that matter, are deeply individual characters who have never had a backstory. Nolan or otherwise have given half-hearted attempts at backstories like Burton, but this film could give us a deep origin of a villain for once. Think of what this opens up for origins for Mr. Freeze, the Riddler, etc. This is a potential open up to the psychological side of Batman and his villains, which has always been a draw of Batman. Why does he do what he does? Why does a villain do what they do? For Batman fans who are fans of more than just saying, strong, scary man kicks some ass, this is everything we could dream of. But the expectations will be so high that honestly, if Nolan isn't involved in some way, it could really suck. So Josh replied, the reason the Joker is the Joker is that nobody knows why and because no one understands his motivation. He's completely unpredictable, and that's what makes him great. That's what Josh said in reply. And again, remember, our premise was that this is Todd Phillips telling a prequel to the Nolan part. So I get that Dave's going with hey, maybe we could just kind of ditch that premise and do something different. But Brian, the floor is yours. Be kind to Dave. He was nice to at least reply to us, but I'm very curious to hear what you think.
I don't think Brian's going to be mean, and I fully expect that all of my short views on this will be expressed in Brian's. So I'm just total deference.
All right. So, I'm sorry. What was his name?
Dave.
I respect your opinion, but I heartily disagree on multiple points. Dave, I also want to thank you for leaving the post before I heartily disagree. And the reason I did not personally comment on the Facebook post is because not only was I working, and my work does not allow me to pull out my phone very often, but the response I would have would take up an entire novel and reveal parts about myself that I don't want Mark Zuckerberg to know. So here's what I have to say. I am completely in agreement with you that a movie like that, if it was told in a much like the comic book story that occurred a couple years ago, where there were 5 people, they were escaping from Arkham. They all had different versions about how the Joker became the Joker, and they were all kind of recounting their stories about what they've heard. That's a cool concept. And it's even a cool concept in a movie. That is not the movie that we are getting. I will refer to the actual synopsis that was revealed, because if that was the movie that was getting, they would have told us in the synopsis. They would have told us, hey, told from the perspective of these people. But we got a synopsis that was pretty much, hey, Gotham's a shit show, and this guy is, down on his luck, and he relies on comedy, and, he's going to be pulled into this world of, darkness and intrigue, and, we're going to see the things that made this person become who he is. So that's not the movie we're getting. So that's my first thought. My second thought is, Dave, if I want to watch Pulp Fiction, I'm going to watch Pulp Fiction. Pulp Fiction did it. They did it right. They did it great.
Indeed.
And that's what I'm going to watch. I don't need a movie that is Pulp Fiction but with Gotham gangsters, because that's essentially what I'm hearing be described. Especially since the magic of Joker is not just the fact that we don't know his backstory. In fact, in The Killing Joke, yes, he does say that line, "If I had a past, I prefer it to be multiple choice." It's an amazing line. But in that story, we get the origin of the Joker for the most part. So much so that like we thought that was it until DC actually went out and announced and retconned it and said, no. That's a completely separate. That's a what if story. That's an Elseworld story. It's not a part of canon. The Joker is still mysterious. So DC even recognized we can't give this character an origin. We need to pull this back. It's a cool thought, but we need to pull this back. And I want you to just think about what are the highlights of The Killing Joke, because it's not the origin story. Everybody remembers The Killing Joke for a couple different reasons. So number one is where he paralyzes Barbara.
Oh.
Number two is the extreme torture he puts Commissioner Gordon through and Batman. And number three is the ending. And the ending being that for the longest time, even to this day, it is debated whether or not Batman kills the Joker in that story. Because it's an Elseworld story, it's very plausible that he kills him. And the lengths that Batman has gone to say, "I'm finally going to stop you once and for all," those are the things we remember about The Killing Joke. Nobody says, "Yeah, that was a great story because we got an origin for the Joker." Everybody says it's a great story for the reasons that I mentioned before. The Joker is not nearly as interesting a character without the mystery and without Batman. The whole magic of the Joker is his relationship with Batman, and doing an origin movie such as this, you are removing half of the equation.
Yep.
Which is a deeply flawed concept for a movie. I agree with you. Batman has an amazing rogues gallery. I especially love Quiltman, but they all have very good, deep, rich stories, and we've explored some of those origin stories. You mentioned Mr. Freeze, which we have an origin for Mr. Freeze. We've actually redone the origin for Mr. Freeze twice. One being in the animated series, which is the origin that we decided that is our origin story because it's so sad and you sympathize with that villain so much and you understand where he's coming from. And then we redid it again 3 years ago in the New 52 when we just took that and said, hey, that's not actually the origin. That's just what he thinks is going on. He's actually insane. He never had a wife. And that was a really cool twist. And I remember reading that story being like, that just adds a completely different layer to Mr. Freeze that I didn't think of. You can do that with people like Mr. Freeze because Mr. Freeze, you need to be sympathetic for them. You need to understand where they're coming from. Otherwise, it's just a big bully in a Batman suit beating up on a poor guy. The magic of the Joker is that he just does things. He does things to do them. They're chaotic, where Batman is extremely calculated, extremely thoughtful, and seeing those two sides of the coin battle with each other. How does someone who is so methodical fight pure chaos? That is the why we all love The Dark Knight. And just watching somebody descend into that chaos, it's been done before. It's been done in so many movies. It's been done in Pulp Fiction. So I'm not excited by that prospect at all. And I was thinking about this all week, Dave. I thought about this all week. And the only parallel I can draw for you is this, besides my own personal feelings about this, which, I've just notated. We all love Wolverine. Wolverine is an amazing character. I want you to think back, if you can, with me, back in the 90s. We all really enjoyed Wolverine in the comic books because Wolverine didn't have a past. He was a man without a mission, without a home. He didn't understand what he was doing or why he was doing it, but you knew that past was dark and it was mysterious, and it drew a bunch of people to him. And that is how Wolverine became as popular as he is because of the mystery behind him. And then we gave him an origin in the comic books. And all that mystery left. And we all saw how well the Wolverine Origins movie went. And when you give a character like that whose pure identity is built on the fact that this guy doesn't know where he came from and we don't know where he came from, it loses its magic. And I am instantly not interested in that character anymore. Now, don't get me wrong, I enjoy Wolverine, but the things that they have tried to do with his origin since to try to elevate it or make it just as exciting as it was before have failed miserably. Him having a son has failed miserably. Him having this, kingship with Sabretooth, all of it is like, meh, okay. But I prefer my Wolverine to be this lone samurai. Now you're going to do that with the Joker. And that's a huge problem for me because you're taking away a part of that character. You're taking away a part of his identity. And here's the other thing. If I know this is set in the Nolan universe, I will always compare this movie to Heath Ledger's performance in Dark Knight. You can't help but not do that because we need to watch this movie saying, here's this guy, but he somehow ends up here in The Dark Knight. And Heath Ledger's performance was so legendary and so good and so well done. And part of that performance was him changing the story of how he got the scars every time. And how he portrayed that just kind of maniacal chaos that, like, I don't know what this guy is going to do next. If I'm watching a movie, I need to know that eventually that character is going to end up there. It will always fall short because of how good that performance is. Yep. That is the second problem with setting this in the Nolan universe. So those are my thoughts. You were more than welcome to disagree with them as much as you want.
But for the love of God, please don't do it via Facebook. Just like a voicemail or
call us.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's not have because I'm sure you're gonna have thoughts, but let's not hash them out. Like,
anywho, those are my thoughts on the topic. I definitely respect your opinion, and I'm not saying you're wrong in any way. I definitely agree with you that, like, if we got a movie that was being told the way you want it to be told, I think it would be interesting. I would pay money tomorrow to see that movie.
I'm on board with that with Brian. The movie that you described, Dave, is the movie I would like to see.
But that's not the movie we're getting,
right?
And that's where I have the hangups.
Right.
So take that with what you want.
And that's where I came down on it too. Was I love your idea. I think it would be cool. And you're right. If Nolan's involved, like, even better. I know he's kind of done with that, so he won't. But instead, we're getting maybe Joaquin Phoenix, which it's not terrible. So, I mean, he's got a new movie out that looks pretty awesome. But Todd Phillips and right now Warner Brothers and DC. So I would rather watch your movie, Dave, any day of the week. But unfortunately, the movie that we were told is not going to be good, and I'm not looking forward to it at all. So, but again, thank you so much for leaving your comment on the show, on our Facebook page. If you have more that you want to add or something else that you want to bring to this, I'm okay with having this conversation forever. Call us 484-373-4119. Leave a message on the air. This way, it's not me reading it because I'm awful at that. We have your voice on the show, and we'll keep talking about this. And if you, listener, yes, you have an idea or some feedback about this movie, this conversation, do the same thing. Get on board with us. Talk to us, and let's continue the conversation. All right, I want to continue on. Unfortunately, there are two things that Nicolas Cage just can't say out of our podcast. It seemed last week he was...
CJ, I think it's that you seek out the Nicolas.
I know.
I think he's constantly scratching at the door.
Right. So last week, Nicolas Cage saying, I think there should be a rated R Ghost Rider, but keep me out of it. I shouldn't be in there. That's not me. And this week,
I approve of that message as well.
And this week, continue on with the talk about the Joker, right? Nicolas Cage gave an interview and he said this, I think my comic book days are kind of, I'm on to other things, but I'm always, I can't even. He basically said that he always thought that he would make a great Joker and that he would have been a good villain for a Marvel movie like Doctor Doom. But with Doctor Doom, you have to wear a mask. But I thought of the story leading up to Doctor Doom could be interesting. And at this point, if I was to go back to that format, I'd probably have to be as a villain. So
he also is quoted as stating that he could eat a peach for hours.
here we go again. We don't want origin stories to all the villains. We don't.
Wait, I'm confused. Does he want to be Joker or does he want to be Doctor Doom?
He always thought he could do a good Joker. Go ahead.
The character he played in Face Off essentially was the Joker. So
I was going to say Vampire's Kiss.
You have to do what I say or I will fire you. Sorry, go ahead.
All right, so there's a component of that as well, I suppose. But like, I just want Nick Cage to, die quietly.
Oh
No.
Oh, he's a national treasure. You can't say that.
Here's what I want to see. I agree. Nicolas Cage should play the Joker, and the Joker should steal the Declaration of Independence, and it'll be a fantastic movie.
I figured it out. Here's what we're doing. We're doing Dr. Parnassus style of storytelling, right? We're gonna have 4 different Jokers. We're gonna have your Joaquin Phoenix as the the Joker that's in the room with Batman telling the story.
No,
and every time you flash to
air quotes.
And right, I made air quotes. You're right. Then we have another Joker who is origin story number 1, Tommy Wiseau. So he gets his Joker stuff. Joker number 2, we get Nick Cage, and then Joker number 3, TBD. We get a third Joker that we just let another wild card have at the Joker. We get Dave's movie of different origin stories, and someone telling one of them, and that's a serious actor, and you got 3 wild cards on the other side. But that's never gonna happen. So no Nicolas Cage.
I super hate everything you just said
Me
and
too.
do not approve this message.
I agree. I don't want that either. That's the only way that Nick Cage gets to be the Joker.
I wish this could all be stricken from the record, and that.
What, are you afraid this is like Jungle Gym thing? If I say this loud enough, it's going to become true?
I wonder what I need to do to go back in my DeLorean and stop you from saying those things. But how can I do that without affecting other things you would say? And there's my conundrum: is that you've double fucked everything, and I hate everything that you just said, and I don't approve that message.
Ryan, what do you think about Nick Cage saying, "I'd be a good Joker," and can we make a Doctor Doom origin movie?
We haven't even gotten Doctor Doom correctly done right in the
not ever.
Fantastic Four movie, so no. And Nick, I think you're great. It's wonderful watching you chase after kids with Cheerios formed into your face. But no, Nick, please just keep stealing national monuments and just stay away from my comic book movies. That's all I'm asking. I think you have a place in moviedom, which obviously that place is to do 16 movies every 3 months, but not any of them should be comic book related. Thank you.
I approve that message.
Moving on to some good news in the world of comics, or at least we got some good stuff to say. We have a new screenwriter for the Batgirl movie. So if you all remember, Joss Whedon stepped down, per se, to do the movie, and they have now hired Christina Hodson. She was one of the co-writers of the Birds of Prey spinoff, the Harley Quinn story. She also has some other good writing records underneath her belt. And I think this is actually pretty exciting news. This is a person who I'm okay with hearing someone tell the Batgirl story, and it seems like she's a total badass. So
I'm sorry, you're going to have to tell me what writing credits you know of that are extremely good, because I'm looking at her IMDb right now, and I see 4 movies that she is the writer for, 2 of which are not even out yet, and 2 are out. I've never seen them, but they're thrillers. They're horror/thriller genre movies.
Unforgettable, right? Wasn't that a...
I don't think that disqualifies.
I didn't say it disqualified her. I'm just saying.
What I'm saying is, I think a lot of writers get their start in genres that are quote unquote easier to break into, right? Less expensive to make, maybe easier to get a job, blah, 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 blah. It's the same way that any writer breaks in is smaller roles first, bigger roles second. There's nothing to say this couldn't be a breakout type of thing. I'm not willing to throw away hope that this is a good, and I'm on record saying I'm not crazy about Batgirl, but I don't care about where the writer comes from. If they've got good chops, they've got good chops. That's it.
No, yeah, I agree. I'm not saying that it discounts her. In fact, I'm actually happier that she's relatively doesn't have a ton of writing credits to her, because that means I'm going to get something new and different. And,
Right.
and
Yes.
Yeah.
if this person can bring something really cool to the table,
Chip on the shoulder type writing.
yeah,
God,
right. Like
God knows
like,
DC needs that right now.
that's what we need. Exactly. That's what we need is like injecting new, fresh blood into these universes. And Batgirl's a perfect place to do it. Batgirl is, she's got the name recognition, Bat. She's got, the comic book nerds are going to see it, but also, the teenage girls are going to see it, for, identification reasons. And this is a
Teenage
story.
boys are gonna see it.
Sure.
Yep.
And this is a story that absolutely should be told by a woman. I just, I've never seen her other two writing credits, so I do not judge at all. I'm hoping for something new. I'm hoping for something fresh. I think this is going to be cool.
Yeah.
Now, it all stems from this. She can write the best script ever. Studio needs to keep the fuck away from it.
Yep.
And we need to get a solid actress as Batgirl.
Yeah.
If those three things happen, it's going to be great.
I agree, and I'm excited for this. This, just like you said, but listen, having a strong foundation and a good start, that's what DC needs for this movie. And the reason I was okay with Joss Whedon writing it and not necessarily it being a woman was, the man wrote a long running
7
female
years.
led show, Buffy the Vampire Slayer. It was a strong female leading a larger group of people. So when you hear, oh, he's writing back, you're like, oh, okay, like he understands that he can make a strong woman protagonist. I'm fine with that. She doesn't need an ensemble. She's fine on her own.
I don't understand how Chloe Grace Moretz isn't Batgirl already. How
that would be a good pull.
There you
I'd
go.
watch that.
like how has that not happened?
That is the new Aaron Paul for Ghost Rider
Because
campaign
they
we're
don't
going
because they don't have a script yet.
on. Right.
Yeah, but wouldn't she be amazing?
I think she'd be great.
Yeah.
She's the right age now.
yeah.
All right, last bit of DC talk, since we're getting to the end of the DC part. There have been some set photos of the new Titans series of Beast Boy and what's her name?
Raven and
Beast Boy,
Starfire.
Raven, and Starfire. For me, they're just set photos, just people walking around. I pay no heed to them. What do you guys think?
I mean, it looks cool. I mean, that was my only thought. You know what I mean? Like we're gonna see what's real soon. I'm excited for the show. Brian, not so much.
No, I am excited for the show. Who said that? I'm super excited for the show.
Are you?
Yeah. It's Berlanti. In Berlanti we trust.
Okay.
I'm completely okay with the show. Here's why I don't have more than just one sentence to say with it, because my one sentence is they're set photos. And that's why I don't think people understand, because a lot of haterade has been spilling all over the internet over these photos. And to the point where I can't remember her name, the girl who was playing Starfire had to make a statement saying, clearly these are leaked photos. I am saddened by the fact that this is the way the fans get to see me as this great character for the first time. You should put no stock in these photos, people. Besides the fact that, oh, hey, there they are. Listen, if it's like any other Berlanti DC show, they're filming up in Vancouver. They're probably cold AF. They are all in just winter jackets, and they don't look great because there's so much that goes on in post-production that you don't even know.
Right.
And they're probably walking to and from shoots, so either things have been taken off their costume or added to their costume.
They're messing around with their costume. They're resetting the set. They're just chilling out. They're cold. They have this giant jacket on. So no, this isn't an accurate representation of what the character is going to look like. So everybody needs to calm down.
This was the lesson I learned when we saw Brie Larson walking on set in the green suit, and what we just saw with Zachary Levi with Shazam. And I really realized that while it's cool to see, oh, maybe this is what the costume looks like, it's meaningless. And then we all get right. And I say we, I mean the internet and nerdy nerds get all riled up about this is wrong. And just guys, that's not the finished product. You really can't stop passing judgment on this. Leave it alone. Tom Holland, when he was on the set of Infinity War, didn't wear the spider suit, right? He wore a gray suit with the sensors on it. So it's not like you can be like, oh, well, the Spider-Man costume is going to look so bad. It's going to be like Green Lantern. No, shut up. Just watch the finished product and then be like, oh, that was cool. Stop getting angry about set photos. It's stupid.
Yeah, and that's all I wanted to say is that listen, I looked at them, I was like, all right, hey, we're halfway there. I see things I recognize, and that's great.
Yep.
Can't wait to see the final product, because obviously this is not what it's going to look like on screen.
Yeah.
Right.
Have you seen the video of like superheroes without the special effects? And there's the episode of the Flash where it was the crossover with Supergirl. And she's
where they're like just jumping in place and stuff.
And like spinning his arms, and they look ridiculous, but then they show like what happens when you put in the special effects. So same thing.
And there's like, it's not even like the special effects portion of it. It's
I know, it's just like
they change everything. They change the pigment of costumes because certain colors don't show up well on film, so they have to touch it up in post and things like that. There could be any number of things that happen on the back end once this footage is shot and done and thrown in the can and put through a computer and redone and retouched. It's not going to look like this at all. Give me a trailer. I want to see a trailer for this.
I want to see trailers too.
I'm excited. I really am.
Let's move on to the world of Marvel, because Avengers Infinity War has had an awesome week this week. It is now outselling the last 7 MCU movies combined. And to get that perspective, that's Ant-Man, Captain America Civil War, Doctor Strange, Guardians of the Galaxy 2, Spider-Man Homecoming, Thor Ragnarok, and Black Panther combined.
Yep.
Pre-sales.
Yes, for pre-sales.
Let's be clear. Because, I mean, hey, Black Panther passed another milestone and is now the 3rd highest grossing movie domestically of all time.
Woo-hoo!
Just beat out Titanic, which
Awesome.
fantastic, right? The only thing it is under is Force Awakens and Avatar. I mean, this is a huge deal. Black Panther was the biggest pre-sales of all time before Avengers. And the fact that not only did it outsell Black Panther, but it sold more than that plus 6 other movies combined is huge. Which brings me back to my original point when we saw the trailer.
Still not going to beat Avatar. Still not going to beat Avatar.
It definitely is a contender.
It's not going to
definitely is a contender.
It's not happening. But okay.
I can't wait till I'm right.
So, well, that is the end of Cape Talk. I have to apologize. We forgot to talk about the new trailer for Solo, a Star Wars.
We didn't forget. CJ forgot.
I'm not watching.
It's all CJ's fault.
I'm again. This is on the list of I'm trying not to watch trailers anymore once I'm already sold on a movie. And I watched this one and was.
So your abstention is applied globally, is what you're saying?
I'm just saying now. Anytime I'm sold on a movie, I'm just not watching any more trailers for it because I was actually disappointed in this trailer.
So everyone else suffers. I get it.
You were disappointed?
Yeah. Like, why did we end with the cliffhanger of what's going to happen to Chewie?
I need you to shut your whore mouth.
I get that. We all know Chewie survives. We get that.
Yeah.
Whatever.
It was also I've got a good feeling about this. I'm feeling like I'm seeing the best parts
Chewie's.
Yeah,
Chewie's father / brother or
this
uncle.
This is why I hate
Baby Groot.
And this is why I hate trailers, is because then now the fan theories start, and I got to argue with people about, no, that actually is Chewbacca. And then if it isn't Chewbacca, then I got to hear all the fan... Like, this is why I fucking hate bullshit like that. Listen, this trailer didn't wow me at all. So I was like, oh, great.
Really? The entire scene on the train before said Chewie scene didn't wow you? Because that was like, I was excited to watch this train battle while it was like zipping through like a roller coaster. It looks awesome.
It looks great. It looks cool.
What?
It looks cool.
CJ,
I'm not sitting there going, oh my God, I need new pants.
I will pay $15 to watch Donald Glover pretend to be Billy D. Williams for 3 hours.
Awesome.
I don't care. He's
bring it on.
He is going to be so good.
So good.
I want him to get his own movie. I just want a Lando movie now with him in it, and I'll be happy.
We can have a Lando movie now. As a matter of fact, we can have another Solo movie now.
Please, just make
based
more.
on this. Just based on this trailer alone, there's more Solo.
Absolutely.
To be told.
I'm good with that.
I am.
It's Space Ocean's 11.
Yes.
I am.
How are you not on board for that?
I am on board.
I'm as excited for this as I was for the last 2 Star Wars movies.
So let me set the record straight on this. I love this movie. This movie's going to be so cool. Is it a Star Wars movie? Is it a Star Wars movie?
Of course.
Then I'm going to see it. Then I'm already there. I already got the tickets. I'm not saying that I don't think the movie's impressive. Just the trailer didn't take me to the next level. It didn't bump me up to 11. It kept me at, this movie's going to be awesome. So I like this movie. I'm going to see this movie.
That's just your MK Ultra training.
Like,
that's all that is.
No, I'm just
Brian, am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong.
Gush about the trailer all you want. I'd rather see the movie. Just give me the movie.
I have one reservation. I'm still not sold on this guy as Han Solo.
Yeah, me too.
We gotta see it. We gotta see it.
Other than that, yep, you're right. We gotta see it, and I'm not like that's not saying I'm not going to see this movie because, as CJ stated, it is indeed a Star Wars movie.
Going to see it.
But this trailer was awesome.
I'm in. I'm in.
You know what's getting me even more excited after I just watched it again? It's like we haven't seen Chewbacca actually fucking kill people.
Nothing.
And he's gonna be awesome. He's going to be like this ninja bear, and I want to see it.
It's gonna be.
I want to see Chewbacca break somebody's spine. Yeah. That's what I want to see.
I'm with you. Let the record reflect. Excited for this movie. Trailer did not take me to 11. That's the only message I want everyone to walk away with.
I don't see how those things.
I don't think
aren't mutually exclusive.
I don't think a second trailer is supposed to take you to 11. I think it's supposed to say, "Hey, remember?"
It took me to 11.
It took me to 11
That's what Josh
too.
is saying. Then what the fuck?
But listen, your argument is invalid by the fact that even though this is what it did for me, I don't think that's what a second trailer needs to do.
Right.
A second
trailer didn't do it for me.
But it's not supposed to. It doesn't necessarily have to. A second trailer is not necessarily supposed to be like, "Hey, we're going to ratchet you up to 11. We're going to make you even more excited. You're going to change pants 6 times in 2.5 minutes." That is not what a second trailer needs to do. You know what it needs to do? It needs to say, hey, summer movies, there's a ton of them, right? And there's so many coming out. And we know you're going to go see this movie. The last time we saw a Star Wars trailer was, what, February? January? When was the Super Bowl?
February, yes.
Almost, it was over 2 months ago. This is just a reminder. This is a reminder of, oh, hey, by the way, I know you just saw the Avengers trailer and you're really excited for that. I know you just saw a Deadpool trailer and you're really excited about that too. But guess what? Solo's also coming out. So I need you to prepare yourself because May is going to be amazing. That's all what this is going to do. That's all it has to do. It doesn't need you to get more excited because they already got you. They already got your ticket. We know they do. They just need to, remember this? Don't forget. Mark it on your calendar. That's all it's supposed to do.
It was a trailer. I'm already excited for it. So let's talk about some awesome news that I got super excited that had to deal with the Millennium Falcon and Disney doing
Speaking
some
of Solo,
amazing
so this is a perfect
shit,
segue.
Right?
In fact, CJ did this on purpose. He didn't forget to talk about the Solo trailer
Footage
at all.
From Disney's Millennium Falcon ride has hit the internet and it looks fucking awesome. This is a ride that I need literally right now. I need it right now. Give it to me. It's like the first time I went on the Spider-Man ride at Universal Studios and how I was like, holy shit, my mind is blown. That's what this ride is going to do. It's awesome. Disney makes fantastic rides. Like, watch this video and tell me you're not already somehow camping out waiting for this ride to be open. But I'm imagining being in that seat. You're hitting some AT-ATs. You're bouncing all around. I mean, to me, it feels like the Spider-Man ride.
It does.
That's what I'm really excited for.
Or Star Tours.
Yeah.
But my question is it going to be Star Tours like me and 30 people, or is it going to be like Spider-Man with like me and 4 of my close friends?
I think it's going to be like with you and 4 of your close friends, like you inside the cockpit of the Millennium Falcon. There's not a whole lot of people.
Oh my gosh, if I could actually like be in like the cockpit, like that's
probably what
get in.
I hope so.
That'd be so
It's
cool.
Disney, man. They got the Disney money. And then Josh is just in the next seat going,
No, I won't ever be.
oh, right, okay, yeah, right.
Josh doesn't do rides.
Josh doesn't do rides unless they shut down the entire park for him. And this is coming to Disneyland and Disney's Hollywood Studios in 2019, so they're not shutting down the entire place for you, Josh. So you're probably never going to see this. That's sad. This is awesome. I'm very excited for this. I saw a trailer for a ride at Disney and got excited. There we go. That's some positive movement, right? That's me getting excited by a trailer the right way, right? All right, listener. Listen, that's all we got this week. Now, listen, today was a long episode, and I appreciate you hanging through with it. And again, we love having discussions with you, as we could tell with our conversation with Dave. So again, Dave, thank you so much for commenting on our Facebook page.
Yes, thank you, Dave.
And listener, we always want to hear from you. So how can you do that? Couple ways. Go to Facebook, go to Twitter at That Kind of Nerd, and talk to us. You can find us on Instagram at That Kind of Nerd Podcast. We put videos up every single day of the week. Definitely something worth your watch. Or you can call us or text us, 484-373-4119. If you don't know the number, go to the show notes on your podcasting app, and you can find it there. Also, we would appreciate if you gave us a 5-star review on iTunes. It means the world to us to hear your feedback on the show. I'm CJ Millen, joined by Josh Burns and Brian Thornton. Thank you so much for making us your walk around our neighborhood or your drive to work, and we will see you all next week.
If you love comics and sci-fi and technology, television, video games, and fantasy, well, take a listen to our show. I'm sure you'll see there's many points where we can agree. Like that Martha as a plot point was just too absurd, and Apple versus Android is a case to be heard, and that Josh Trank's new Fantastic Four was a turd. Well, welcome to the club, 'cause you are that kind of nerd.
Nothing has been better on this show, by the way. My favorite moment of this show was when you got Chinese food. and we were, I don't know if we were recording late or we were early. I don't know what the circumstances were, but you were just finishing your Chinese food, and then you had your fortune cookie, and we're like, well, listen, we're already in this. Like, you're just finishing your Chinese food. Crack open the fortune cookie. Tell me what it was. It was early. It was
very early.
It's a moment that stayed with me because it really is a highlight of who we are as people.
That moment stayed with you? What was the fortune?
Oh.
You don't remember?
I don't remember the
No,
fortune.
who the fuck remembers shit like that? Christopher Jacqueline Mellon. Christopher Josephine Mellon.
You were close. It was Jacqueline.
Meanwhile, back in the Hall of Justice.
You've turned CJ full Bill Clinton. I don't know if you've noticed.
I gotta tell y'all, but I love you dearly, and there's no need to fight because I love you.
All right. And listen, I actually have no point.